Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian, and today I'm going to be doing a video on some signs that you are in a new season, are about to enter into a new season. The funny thing about this video is I didn't even realize that today is the first day of fall, a new season. And so I'm a fall person. That is my time. So I already start prepping and celebrating. And then I got on social media today and I saw somebody posted about it being the first day of fall. So I feel like that's very timely. Okay. What are the odds? Nothing is a coincidence that I'm filming on the first day of a new season. So let's go ahead and hop into it. All right, y'all, so I have my coffee ready to go. I have my fan because it's been still hot. Even though it's fall time now, it's been super hot still. And then I put the notes in my phone of what we're going to be talking about today. So these are some things that I have noticed in my own personal life. I'm a very discerning person. I pay attention to the slight changes and even the spiritual shifts. I can feel them. I've always been that way. I've always been able to walk in a room and pick up, the energy in the room and stuff like that. And so I've gotten pretty accustomed to knowing when the season is changing and when the season has started to change and is changing, knowing when things that are happening in my life are an indicator of that. So the number one thing that I have that you will feel or experience when it is time for a new season or you're in a new season is you will feel it. I feel like that's pretty obvious, but there have been times where I have just been going with the flow of life and going with the motions. And then when I've gotten to a new season, it's like, oh, okay, it just clicks for me that I'm entering a new season, that what I was feeling prior in the past season and the things that I was going through, things have started to change. Like the atmosphere starts to feel lighter. The people around me, either they have started to disappear, and not in it's not always a negative way, but as you're going into new seasons, everybody is not going to be able to go with you that were in prior seasons, and you'll have to discern and see is that what's changing. The thing about people are in your life for a season is so true, and it doesn't mean that everyone will be in your life just for one season or a couple of seasons, but as you continue to elevate, you'll find that you're not able to take the same people with you because you're changing, you're entering a new period in your life. You could literally be doing the same things, but it's just something about the timing, something about the atmosphere that just feels so different. So when you are entering a new season, you literally will feel it. It's like that old season that has just gone by. It just doesn't feel the same. It just feels like something new is coming, like something new is here, something brighter, something lighter. And sometimes the new season could actually be a trial season. It could be a hard season, but you should be able to discern that something has shifted. You should be able to see that I'm not where I used to be. Maybe a month ago or 6 months ago, things have changed since then. Usually when I'm able to tell that I'm entering a new season, that it's time for a new season, it usually doesn't take me 6 months to be okay. It's just one day I'll wake up and be going about my day, and I'll start to see things have shifted, or I have hope for the next things that are coming in my life. It's like this, something has changed on the inside to let me know that something new is coming. All right, y'all, let's move into the next thing. So you may start to feel spiritual birthing pains. And I say spiritual because don't be out here, in your natural body expecting to feel birthing pains, okay? This is spiritual birthing pains. And what that may look like is maybe now you're starting to feel a little more anxious. Maybe now you're even having mood swings and all these things. And again, if you're somebody who has a history with mental health, this is not what I'm talking about. This is a spiritual thing. It's something is coming, the pressure all of a sudden is turned on. You were just fine, and now all of a sudden you're experiencing it could be heaviness. It's just that something is changing, something is going on, and it may not necessarily feel comfortable. These spiritual burden pains are a signal that you are supposed to be pushing something out. You're supposed to be birthing something out in a new season, in this next season. And it may not be right away, but those spiritual burden pains where you start to feel maybe a little bit anxious, or something is coming, or what is this, or why is the pressure all of a sudden now on? So just when a woman is naturally in labor, you start to feel this, but in a spiritual form, just just I need to hurry up and give birth because something is just pushing on me. And so that is another indicator that you could be in a new season, are about to enter a new season. One thing about life is that the spiritual realm and the natural realm mimics a lot of different things. So a woman giving labor literally mimics a person that it's time for you to birth into purpose. It's time for you to birth a new business or birth that new assignment. And so you're feeling it, but you're just feeling it in a spiritual way. You're feeling it in a way that you can't really pinpoint from the natural eye, but you know that something is supposed to be changing. Something is supposed to be different. And now the pressure is on. Okay, y'all, this next thing is something that I have had to learn over and over again, and that is the old things don't work. The old things that you could get away in the prior season, and this doesn't mean that it's bad things. It could be good things, but those things just won't work any longer in the period that you're in now. Those things won't work in this new season or the season that you're about to enter. It could literally just be like how you used to work in one season before. All of a sudden now you're trying to keep that same schedule and things just aren't working the same. Things just aren't doing right. Maybe you need to switch something up in this new season because the way you did it in that past season is not going to work how it's going to work in this season. So that's just a signal like, hey, maybe you need to shift this because a new time period is coming. Maybe you were able to market your business in this way and it worked for years. Now all of a sudden it's time to switch something up. It's time to change something up because you're in a new season. You're embarking on a new journey, even if it's with just your business, even if it's just with your job or your career or your passions and goals and stuff like that. The old way just won't work. Those old attitudes and mindsets and things like that also are not working in the new season because you cannot take that with you in the new place that you're going. You're elevating, you're going to another place. And again, every season that comes, every new season isn't necessarily just strictly for elevation. You could be going through a season that is not as easy, like a hard season, a trial season, a season where you're learning something. But the principle of what I'm saying is that when you're shifting in a new season, the old things just don't work because that was for the past. That was for the seasons that you were once in. And so you have to be able to change with the times. You know how people say like you need to change with the times when it comes to like, you know, a business, or when it comes to like a artist or something, they need to be able to change with the times. The way you used to perform 50 years ago may not be relevant to how you perform now in this day and age. Think of it like that. What you were able to do a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4, 5 years ago is not conducive to what you have to do now to be able to prosper and be successful in this new season. All right, y'all, the next thing is you may experience frustration, and I feel like this kind of like piggybacks on some of the points I've already said. You're gonna have frustration because you may not be able to pinpoint what is happening. You may not be thinking like, oh, I'm going into a new season, even though you are, but the things around you just seem like it's not working, or this is happening, and then this is happening, and this is happening, and you may not even realize that it's happening because that old place has to leave. You're being frustrated with these things happening around you because it's like a signal like, hey, like no more of this season, let's move into this new place, let's go to this next place. So you may not know why you're frustrated. It may just seem like everything is starting to mess up now, or this is happening now, or this is happening now. But usually those are signals that you are either supposed to be in a different place, a different season, or those are signals that something is off, like there's something going on deeper than you may be able to pinpoint. So frustration is normal when it is time for you to move into a new season or into a new place. It's just what you do with that frustration. Don't get so frustrated that you allow the frustration to keep you from going to the place where you're supposed to be going, okay? Don't be like, you know, freaking out and messing stuff up, okay? Just really discern where are the areas of your life that you're being frustrated, and see if it has anything to do with where you're going in the new season and the new place that you are embarking on and entering, or may already be in. And then since we're talking about frustration, let me just go ahead and jump into this next point, which is you will notice that you are experiencing spiritual warfare on a whole nother level. Things were going fine for months. Things were going fine. And then all of a sudden, now you're being attacked. And if you really pay attention, you'll know what is spiritual warfare versus just, oh, that's just life happening. So I remember, this was a little while ago, but I remember in the new season, actually, this was like me entering into a new year, and somebody came and it was just out of order. Like the things they were saying to me were so out of order, and I didn't understand like where was this coming from. And I was going through like little attacks. Like first it was something with the car, then it was something with this. So it was like things that just weren't normally happening, and it was just so random. It was so out of the norm. Those things are not happening by coincidence. The enemy is trying to keep you from getting to that new place. The enemy is trying to stop you from continuing to push forward to get into that new place. He wants you to get frustrated and stop and slow down so that you don't reach that next level in your life. Our lives are supposed to be filled with consistency of prospering and moving to the next level and elevating. And again, this happens at different time periods and at different levels in our lives. But when you notice that things seem like it's coming to try to set you back or slow you down or frustrate you, so you give up, that's usually an indicator that you're in the right place. And it's also an indicator that you need to keep going and figure out how to spiritually fight these things, okay? Whether that's prayer, fasting. Don't give up though, because usually spiritual warfare, unless you're doing something to cause the spiritual warfare, because we can actually cause our own spiritual warfare, which is just us causing trouble in our own lives. But this is like you've been minding your business, doing what you're supposed to be doing, and all of a sudden you just get attacked, and it's not necessarily physical. Okay, hopefully that's not going on, but it's like you can discern that this is not normal, like the different things happening. It could be you just got fired. It could be all of a sudden now you feel like your finances are drained. It could be now all of a sudden all your friendships are in disarray, or it could be you've been working on this and all of a sudden like it's like what happened to this. It can be so many different examples. It doesn't have to be those things. It doesn't have to be all those things, but you'll notice that something is off. Something is not right. So in this season, when I was embarking literally on a new season, entering the new year, this person was just saying all this stuff that wasn't random. It was like almost as if this person was like spying into my life or something, but they were trying to curse me. Like the things that they were saying, they were trying to curse me. It felt so spiritual and demonic. You know, like when something just like is like almost like something just possessed them and took over them. That's how it felt. And then shortly after that, I started to see like, oh, this is because I'm going to that next place now. Like something is changing. Something is about to come. And then it all just made sense. And surely enough, I did enter into a new season. I did enter into a new place. So spiritual warfare is a part of entering your new season. And people will be used as vessels to bring in spiritual warfare into your life. One point I will give you is that when I notice I'm going into a new season or the season is changing, I notice that I also like to isolate, and I'm talking about a healthy isolation. It's like I feel this pull to like spend more time with God and just like not really be hanging out as much. I just feel like at this point in my life, because I've gone through it so much now, I can pinpoint when I'm elevating or going to a new season or things are changing for me. I just want to kind of like be in my own space. I'm just allowing the spiritual downloads to come to me and just taking in what I'm supposed to be taking in for the new season. Kind of like reassessing where my life has been and what is supposed to be happening now in my life. And you can't really do that. I mean, you can try, but if you have distractions around you, always going out with friends or always hanging out or always busy with work or whatever it is, always serving or something like that, it can be hard for you to really, usually we use those things as distractions. But when you're embarking on a new season, I feel like it is so good to take some time to yourself. It doesn't have to be a whole season. It could just be like a few days, a month, to just really sit with yourself. And I'm not saying you can't talk to anyone during this season. That's not what I'm saying. But take the time to kind of just reassess everything and hear from God and what is the next step. Find out what's happening in your life next. I always just kind of feel led to do that when a new season is approaching. Or I was about to say when I'm in a new season, but honestly, it's always like right as I'm entering that new season or right before I'm entering that new season. And then I find myself in the season shortly after. All right, you guys, let's move into the next thing. This is a big one. And this is something that I've been able to like tap in. And I'm able to see now when somebody is coming in on an assignment against my life. So the next thing is that when you're embarking on a new season or entering a new season, you're going to notice that people are going to be popping back up in your life. And I'm not talking about people that you already have connections with, good relationship established and stuff like that. This could even be somebody coming in as a new friend or something like that. But you're going to notice that people are going to start popping up in your life. And these people are people who may have been in your life before, but they never cared to check up on you. They never cared to really be of anything good in your life. But as soon as you're about to catch a break, as soon as you're about to receive your breakthrough, or something good is about to happen in your life, a change, a new season, as we're talking about, you will notice these people will pop back up. I cannot tell you how many times I have had people that I once had in my life, whether it was because we were both in a mentorship, or whether it was because I once knew them before or something like that. All of a sudden, these people pop back up at a time where something good is about to pop off in my life. These people pop back up, but they're not really concerned about my well-being, just as they have not been concerned about my well-being in all this time that I haven't heard from them. But they're popping back up because we as people are vessels, so we can be used for good or bad. So a person could literally have a monitoring spirit in them. And I know like people online like, oh, all this monitoring spirit stuff, they don't want to believe that it exists. And I am not a person that is saying that everyone is a monitoring spirit. Everyone is not a monitoring spirit, okay? But I do have the discernment to be able to tell when a monitoring spirit is operating through a person. And usually they're asking really personal questions. Like you have not talked to this person in 3 years, in a year, and then all of a sudden they pop up and say, hey, and then they're just asking you a bunch of questions about your life. That is not normal. That is not normal behavior. Why are you just all of a sudden moved to just reach out to me and ask me questions about my life? You didn't even ask anything about my full well-being, but sometimes they will ask about your well-being because they're trying to see like, how are you doing? Are you physically good? How are your finances? How are these? How are that? That is usually a monitoring spirit operating in a person. Or you may notice that they'll pop up and just want to brag about like a good news that they have going on. Again, this is not someone you have a relationship with, but this is somebody that you have not talked to in years, and you're randomly just popping up with certain let's say it's something you've been waiting on for a little bit. Like God is like, okay, I'm gonna bless you with this, but the person is just randomly popping up trying to say, oh, I got this, or this happened for me, and then all of a sudden start asking you questions about your life. That more than likely is a monitoring spirit being used against you. And it may not seem as deep because it may just seem like, oh, this person just texting me or checking up on me. But you'll be able to feel and sense that this is off. This doesn't feel right. I can feel that this person doesn't really care, to know about my life. And if you don't want to believe it, this is how you know a person has a monitoring spirit inside of them sent to destroy what God is trying to do in your life. Because as soon as you open your mouth and start speaking about specific things, you will notice that those specific things fall through. You will notice that those specific things get delayed. You will notice that those specific things end up up not happening just after you open your mouth and said something about it. That has actually happened to me not even too far long ago. It was something that was about to happen for me. And all of a sudden, like, these people, it wasn't like new people in my life. So don't just have in your mind that somebody only that hasn't been in your life can be used. It can be people that you've had around your life for a little bit still be used to work against you. The enemy will use anybody that's willing to be used. And it's as simple as the person is jealous of you, the person is envious of you. They can easily be used to speak curses and speak warfare and all this stuff against your life because they don't want you to have it. I should have been able to pick this up because something was about to take place that was going to pretty much, basically, we'll just say it was going to shut down. And even though it was going to shut down, that was like fine. Like I was still like moving, like living my life, and I had other plans and other things that I am doing and working on. And it was so interesting because somebody reached out and they were like, oh, so now that this is about to happen, what's going to happen in your life now? Like, what are you going to do now? And I was like, fine. Like, there's other things happening. There's other things that I have going on in my life. And one specific thing I kind of like mentioned a little bit. And then all of a sudden I noticed like, it just felt like the progress slowed down. It felt like, I won't even say it felt like, it literally was like the progress started to slow down in that area. Or, man, I should have kept my mouth shut. This was a situation I had no business even speaking on. But that is what I'm trying to tell you, is that it's deeper than you think. You thinking like, oh, I'm just speaking on this, or whatever, it's not that big of a deal. It is a big of a deal, because once you open your mouth and there's a demonic spirit using somebody and you say something, now all of a sudden that thing, you have given the enemy legal right to come in and mess up that thing. There is a saying that the enemy can't attack what he doesn't know what to attack. So keep your mouth shut, especially when you know you're about to receive a breakthrough, when you know blessings are about to come in your life, when you know things are about to happen in your favor. And the grace of God still exists, and yes, he can repay you and all of that, but you don't want to have to go through unnecessary things or to experience loss that never had to happen if you would have just kept your mouth shut and not said anything. So you do need to be discerning on even the people that you know in your life. It could be family used against you. It could be friends. It could be coworkers. It could be your boss. It could be a random stranger used against you. You don't know what people do after you are out of their sight. You don't know how they truly feel about you in their heart. All you know is that, oh, you could have just been having a conversation thinking that they care about you. And, now all of a sudden things seem like they're up in the air. That is usually a sign that you have come into contact with somebody that has a monitoring spirit and that is being used. And they may not even know, again, it may not be as obvious, but if they have a spirit of envy or jealousy against you, and then they start cursing you and may not even be realized what they're doing. They can have a spirit of gossip and now spreading your business everywhere, and everybody is literally gossiping about your business and speaking lies and all this. Your words are powerful, and other people's words are powerful. And that is why we are told life and death is in the power of the tongue. We just think that we're just saying stuff and it's this or that, but you may not even realize the depths of what you are speaking over your life and what somebody else is speaking over your life. So when people start speaking certain things over your life, especially entering a new season, you do not have to receive that. You do not have to accept that in your life. I had a situation in my life where somebody was not good. I thought that they were sent by God to be like a spiritual advisor or something like that. And then it turned out they were spiritually abusive. So I deleted them off my stuff, and I haven't heard from this person in years. All of a sudden, 3 years later, the person is trying to call me and reach out to me and all these things and act like they're still able to prophesy over my life and this or that. Now, one season when I felt like, oh, I needed them to prophesy to me or I needed spiritual help, I was able to fall victim to that person because I was seeking something. I was seeking help in my life. But now that I'm in a new place and I have grown and developed and been able to spiritually mature, I'm in a place now where it's like, I see that this person is coming with wicked intent. This person is coming because they think I'm still naive and in this place. And they're also a monitoring spirit and now trying to figure out what's going on in my life and come in and mess things up. And this specific situation, I actually had a dream that this person was shooting fire arrows at me. So with that, and then in the natural, seeing them just come out of nowhere, and I'm in a new season and embarking in a new place. Oh yeah, this is not by coincidence. This is not just something that just happened. So block anyone out of your life that you know is coming for wicked intent. They're not coming to help you. They don't care about you progressing. They don't want you to get to this new season. People will be sent on an assignment. God wants to bless you and use people to bless you, but the enemy also knows that if he sends people in and you are fooled by the people coming in your life, they can delay you getting your blessings. They can hold you back from getting to that next season. It could be as simple as now all of a sudden a new person is in your life as you're embarking on a new season. You're regressing back to old ways that now you're not even focused on what you were focused on. Maybe you were trying to finish an album or something like that, and these new people came in your life, and now next thing you know, you look up and you're 2 years behind on a project that should have been released over a year and a half ago because this one person came in your life and caused you to be derailed and get off on the wrong track. So really discern what is happening around you in the new season. Y'all, I didn't expect to spend so much time on that, but hopefully that helps. Hopefully you're able to understand how these things can work against you in a new season. All right, you guys, and this is the last thing. You have hope for this new season. Like, you have hope for the things to come. It's almost like you just feel it. Like, you know that it's already on its way, and so you have hope for the new thing that is to come. Maybe you weren't feeling hopeful, a couple of months ago or a month ago, but all of a sudden it's like now your heart has opened to the possibility of this new season coming and the new things that are coming. So if you are in that place, remain hopeful. That is such a good place to be in, and be in expectation for your new season to come. I even want to say this: don't allow anyone to ruin your new season. Don't allow anyone to take away this new place that you are about to embark on, okay? So I hope that you enjoyed this video. You guys, if you are in a new season, congratulations on the new things to come, and I hope that you receive it in the right timing and your blessings in the right timing. I hope that you have a great day. Thank you for watching.